How are you? I'm Jeff Slakey, and I'm in the Mason County Auditor's office. Mason County Auditor Steve Duenkel. How are you doing, Steve?
Fantastic, Jeff. It's good to have you here today.
Good to see you, and it's different the last time since I've been in the election office. You have moved from the lower floor of the main building, and now you've moved operations upstairs.
We've done some remodeling. We brought the cubicle space, office space for the team upstairs so we could make more room for ballot processing and more room for election observers and more room for some advanced equipment.
Well, you have picked a good year to do it. You told me that you have 5 elections going on this year. We're right in the middle of one. February 13th is going to be election day. And what are the other dates that are coming down the line here?
So right on the heels of the February special election, we have the March presidential primary. And then right after that, we have the April special election where we expect a couple of fire district measures. A little bit of breathing room after that. Then comes the August primary, followed by the November presidential election.
Well, you have been in this office now for a year, and this is going to be one of the busiest years that you'll have as an auditor with that many elections. The presidential coming, I know there's votes being cast across the country now. What are some of the new things that Mason County has to look forward to when it comes to ballot security, ballot drop box locations? You mentioned also some opportunities for more people to be able to see the process happen.
Yeah, so I think at a high level, I've been working to try to make as much of the process as transparent and accessible as possible for election observers. And so we've tried to, again, rearrange things downstairs to accommodate up to about 6 observers. And we invite them in for pretty much everything that we do. And then with that, I've been working with the team to do whatever we can to address vulnerabilities in the election system. Some of that is aimed at our clear ballot, clear ballot system, which is our electronic scanning and tabulation equipment for the elections. And you'll see some of that downstairs. So we've added a new room to house the equipment and the servers all in one location. So we've implemented some physical security. We've implemented some features into the construction down there to protect against wireless intrusion, and we're going to keep building on that. The other thing is we've put security cameras on our ballot drop boxes to enhance security for voters, right, and also for election staff. And we're going to be relocating a couple drop boxes over this year to make them more accessible for voters and also allow us to put cameras on them.
Those cameras are probably a good thing. I've been hearing incidents across the country, not so much here in Washington because we're kind of still getting started, but voter intimidation, people standing by the ballot drop boxes as citizens standing by there. Those are concerns I'm sure that you have, or meetings that you talk about with your counterparts across the state?
Well, believe it or not, last week, Friday morning, we came into work and Marie Stevenson, our elections administrator, got a call from the Belfair Library saying that someone tried to steal the drop box up there. And I'll send you pictures of it, but sure enough, someone had been obviously attempting to dig out the foundation for the drop box and pull it out of its location. I don't know what in the world they were going to do with it once they...
My gosh.
Just like a dog catching a car. What's he going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
So what are you going to do with it now? Anyway, we have it put back into place, and as it turns out, that drop box was scheduled to be relocated up to the new... We're setting up a vote center. I need to back up a little bit. We're setting up a vote center in Belfair starting in March at the old fire station, where the county's setting up the sheriff's office up there, and we'll have a space for vote center operations. So now tie the 2 stories together. So we're planning to move that drop box up there anyway, where it will be under video surveillance. That was going to happen right after we certify the February election. Let's
talk a little bit more about the rest of the year. I know things have changed, I think even since this last presidential election, when it comes to voter registration, updating your addresses, and things like that. Obviously, votewa.gov is a great kind of jumping off point. You can get into Mason County, but what are some of the things that people need to know if they're new to the county or they are just becoming eligible to vote, 18?
Well, a few things, taking it from the top. I want people to get registered to vote, and I want people to vote.
Yeah.
And in our current vote by mail system in Washington State, the one and only means we have to authenticate your ballot to you as a voter is your signature. So I encourage people at every opportunity, take time to come down to the office here. We're happy to work with you, validate, check the signature that you have on file for you, so that when your ballot arrives, it goes through the signature verification process as seamlessly as possible. The other thing I want people to know, when you move, it's your responsibility to update your voter registration information. A lot of people think that when they turn in their change of address information that somehow it works its way back into voter registration, and it doesn't. So we get this lag or disconnect between the time when people move and have their mail redirected to when we can get caught up with them and get their voter registration information updated. I personally spend about a third to half of my time in the voter registration database trying to get things up to date as much as possible. That's in addition to the work that the team does as part of their routine baseline processing of information that we get from the Secretary of State's office. So it's a lot of work.
Once again, what is it in our state of Washington? There's primaries happening now, there's caucusing happening now. What's the main way it happens here in Washington?
The main way it happens? I mean, in terms of...
I mean, is there caucusing? Is there the primaries? Is Washington both of those types of...
We have both, right? So we just had the Republican Party caucus was, I think, 2 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And that's leading up to the party convention here in Mason County on Saturday. But independent, and in addition to that, we have the primary for the presidential primary. That's basically 2 separate elections, one for each major party where people will cast ballots for their preference for the presidential candidate.
Okay, so Republicans do it through the caucus and Democrats do it through primary?
Well, both can do it through the caucus.
Okay.
I don't know if the Democrats have had a caucus yet, or if they're planning to have a caucus yet. I got some mixed feedback on that from some of our Democrat Party members.
Interesting. How does it all get allotted then if there's 2 processes?
That's an excellent question, and I got to tell you, I'm still studying up.
Still trying to figure that out. It's so complicated, you know. As people try to figure out where to go and what to do, and make sure they're heading to the right spot.
So, on my to-do list today is to get into the RCWs related to the caucuses and primaries, because I'm getting asked a lot about, well, how do delegates get identified and selected and nominated and then sent to the national convention where they cast their votes. And the question is, how many of those come from the primary? How many of those come from the caucus? I know each state is a little bit different, and I want to bone up on our current laws here.
Because that's a big thing for folks. I mean, to be a county delegate and then get nominated to the state delegation and then have perhaps the opportunity to be there on the convention
to the
floor.
national convention.
That's got to be an exciting time to be able to rah rah rah. You got your hats and your things. That's pretty cool stuff.
Never been to one.
What is the latest? I don't even know what's going on in Washington with former President Trump. Is he going to be on the ballot? Is he on the ballot for the primary?
He's on the ballot for the presidential primary.
Okay. Did the state decide to pick any of that up, or did they push it off to the Supreme Court?
It bubbled up in a couple different counties. I think the first one was Kitsap, and the courts basically said,
I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
They basically said he'll stay on the ballot.
Sure. All right.
So
good to know. Good to know. I know that's a big question across the whole country right now.
Yep.
Which state he'll be in. Well, I'm excited to see some of the additional processes that are happening, the additional ways that folks can get involved. Not only do you have an opportunity to come in and watch the ballot counting process, but there are live streams, right?
We have live streams of the video coverage on our ballot drop boxes. We have live stream video of the activities in the ballot processing room, and those cameras turn on the day that ballots are sent out, and we turn them off once the election's been certified.
Very good. Mason County Auditor Steve Duenkel here today, talking a little bit more about the upcoming 5 elections across this year, with February 13th coming up first. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.